Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of East Meets West. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we just suffered a loss, and I'm sad, and I'm pissed off, and I'm upset to the Pacers without Ben Mathurin, like no Mathurin Ivy, but we are still 21-20. We are at the halfway point of the season, so I mean, it's better than 3-28 or whatever the hell we were last year. So
That's right.
let's get into it. Let's get into it. How you feeling today, Con?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I'm with you. Yeah, we're literally now at the halfway mark of the season. As you said, 21-20. I mean, unless you were us, right? I think that this year's Detroit Pistons have exceeded, I think, most fans' expectations of where they would be at this point in the season. And again, like you said, it's still a winning record. It is disappointing. It'd be cool to be talking about the halfway mark, with a victory. But hey, right? They still showed a lot of resilience today. We'll get into that. We'll get into kind of the game recap. But this team, I think everyone would agree that this team has a definitive identity.
Yeah.
Resilience, at least for me, is the word I like to toss around about this Detroit Pistons team. When anyone asks me, or even if they don't ask me, I say like that is resilience. Like I know other teams, right? Like this season, like if you punch them in the mouth early, they're not going to get up.
Right.
Like they'll pack it in, and I mean, you don't get any additional wins. You don't get any additional accolades for not giving up, but it is something that you want to see in, a team that is on the rise, and they are on the rise largely because of that, because of their grit, their fight, their resilience. So, I mean, there's still a lot of good things and still a lot of things a lot of good things to unpack, not just in this game, but this season as a whole.
Like, okay, so if I got to jump off that, this season, we need to shore up perimeter defense. Like that's still up. It's still a problem.
Yeah, of course.
Like our perimeter defense is horrible. And you know what I mean? Like, and Siakam was just doing whatever he wanted to do. And it's because he can kind of get towards the perimeter, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And kind of cook. So it's like, what or who at this point? Because we've seen it for half a season. We've seen us progress offensively. We've seen us progress. Everybody elevate like their games, develop. But we haven't necessarily. Well, actually, hold on. Before I say that, because people are gonna kill me. Oh, we developed defensively, but perimeter defense is something else. You know what I mean? And I don't know if we need one more player in order to let Duran like stay back a little bit further towards the rim and everybody else stay a little bit closer, but like we're lacking in the perimeter defensive department. Like we are lacking. Like that's what kills us. And we probably could have 5 or 6 more games won just off perimeter defense. You know what I mean? Like if we were able to run people off of their 3-pointers and make them do something else, maybe that'll shake and we can do something different. But in the meantime, it's just like that. It just is what it is. Like we have what we have, and everybody has improved. Like even Malik Beasley's been looking good, scrappily, if that's a word. Cade has been looking better on defense. Duran has been doing better, but we need a perimeter anchor. You know what I mean? And don't let me throw out Jimmy Butler's name, but we need a perimeter anchor. I mean, we need a perimeter anchor. We need we need a perimeter anchor, and that will put us in a higher echelon to me, because I think that, like I'm saying, we will win 6 more games. So what's that? We're 22 or we're 21-20, right? So what's that? 27-14, and then suddenly we look like what? Like, where does that put us in the standings? Everybody talking about six seed, six
I
seed.
think that puts
We're
you as like
probably
what, the
three.
third seed? That's the third
Yeah, we're
seed.
probably three.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's the from this team, that's the only thing missing because we have everything else. To me, we have depth, we have like everybody kind of coming together. We're all one. It seems like, because you know what I like to say, we have a cadence, and it's just defense. Honestly, like we got the offense, we got the transition. Like we're first. Somebody posted something like we're first in transition. We're first in, like, it's a lot, man, and we got a lot going on for us. But what's your observation on this?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think in our last episode when we were kind of assessing the state of the team as it relates to how we want to approach the trade deadline, we
Yeah,
did say, right, that you know, the Pistons are a very consistent team,
yeah,
right? They've actually been a fairly consistent good defense. It's kind of ironic because we're talking about defensive woes tonight, and
right.
they have been a consistently mid offense, right? In a way, like, here's the thing. I don't think the numbers completely were misleading or lied about the quality of our defense, right? I
Yeah,
think as a team defense, like when you can have, if the game is close, when you can, like I said, when the game's close, that's when you can ramp up Asar and Ron Holland's minutes, right?
right,
Assuming that they're not in foul trouble or anything like that.
right,
When you're playing from behind, it becomes a little different, because obviously, right, it's the whole like finding the balance of offense and defense and everything like that. But I think I'm glad that you brought up Siakam. You know, if you followed us on the ENW Twitter account or even here on the show, I always like to throw out the term power wing, right? So basically, what I like to say is, right, like it's a player you're not really a true small forward, you're not
yeah,
like exclusively on the wing, but you're also not really exclusively a power forward.
right.
And Siakam is like that. Obi Toppin is like that. Basically, the Pacers have a
Mm,
collection of what I like to call power wings. They can
okay,
initiate from the perimeter, but their goal is to finish inside.
right,
And Siakam, as you said today, right? Like you said, it's not like he's bombing threes, but he can initiate the action from the perimeter. And then all of a sudden, he's like in the low block and he's like finishing up and around you or up and over you, you
right.
know?
Yeah,
Um, we were saying like, what is it that you need to be able to, for example, keep Durant closer to the rim, where maybe he's either like in a low drop, if not like a high drop,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We've talked about it before. Like when we switch too much, when we switch everything, you get
yeah.
guys inevitably out of position and in no man's land. We saw that tonight. No offense, I know we picked on them before, but like it happens, right?
Rudy Gobert.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like at least on this team, THJ, Beasley,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And so how what is what are some of the solutions to minimize the need to do that, right? It's point of attack defense, right? If you have multiple point of attack defenders, there is no need to switch. If you're keeping guys in front of you, there's no need to help, right? Duran doesn't have to come out of the paint, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I'm saying, right? That's why, like, it's not to say like the guys that we have aren't good, but there are certain things that maybe they're just not as proficient at. And as you said, right, perimeter defense, which is why, going back to our previous episode, I think pretty much most, if not all, the people we talked about have shown the ability to defend on the perimeter at a high level and to keep their man in front of them, you
Right.
know? So yeah, it's not doom or gloom, but I'm with you. I don't really think the solution is just in-house. Like for, again, what we said, right? Like for a single game, you can scheme up something, but over the entire course of a season and moving forward,
Yeah,
no, I do think there does need to be like some additions to this team. And I don't want to make this like a trade episode again, but no, like, it's just kind of one of the things you have to work around,
yeah.
right?
You, Yeah.
On a night like tonight, uh, when you have Beasley going 1 of 10 from the field, and 1 of 8 from from three, right? Like, see what
That's
I'm saying,
game.
right? Like
That's game.
those defensive shortcomings are magnified when they're not being able to offset with some consistent scoring, some consistent offensive output. And again, make no mistake, I'm not picking on Beasley.
No.
Everyone's due for a bad
For a
game, but
bad
that's what I'm
game.
saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, in order to kind of balance it out, he does need to do that, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm with you. Siakam, though, is like a tough cover because, like, if he really wanted, like, he really could just be a traditional, like, back to the basket, I'm backing you down kind of power forward.
Yeah.
But then he put the
That's
work
true.
in
Like
Toronto.
I got him on my fantasy team. So
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Probably,
Me too, dude. Yeah. So
he probably could. You know what I mean? And it's just like, damn. Like I thought without us having the Matherin Ivy matchup that it would
no.
be a less of a intense game. You know what I mean? And there's something that would be missing. Maybe we needed Ivy for this game. Shout out to Ivy. Get healthy, but like. There are games where I feel like Ivy will like his punch, like, and not just scoring punch. It's more like his just how he goes on offense and what he has improved on defensively, and not to mention Ivy because he's hurt. We're not going to see him until next year, but we need someone that's going to step up and fill that spot. You get what I mean? Like someone that's going to step up and be what at least do what he was doing, and we don't. Not tonight. At least not tonight.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, as much as Ivy's improved defensively, again, in order to kind of balance out this performance, you would have hoped he would have also like chipped in offensively, right? Because I mean, their starting lineup, the Pacers, that is, right? Just going down off of pure percentages, right? Crazy. Off of pure percentages, their 3-point percentage: Siakam 41.4%, Halliburton on a down year 36%, right? Matherin 36.4, Miles Turner 38.5, Nembhard 34. They play a legitimate 5-out offense when they want to, which is why I'm saying, right? Like it puts all like I mean, if you try to bait any of them, like you just like, oh, okay, I dare you to shoot it. Obviously,
then it's a practice shot,
right? They knocked it down, right? Yeah. And I mean, again, not to bring it back to last episode, but the whole Miles Turner thing. How can you truly play? You can't play even a high drop off of him. You can't sag off. What happens when you do? I mean, maybe not every game, but he has the ability to go 8 of 11 from 3, like he did tonight. You see what I'm saying? Like, what you're saying, like, of course, ideally, we want to keep Duren back towards the rim doing what he does best, blocking shots. But damn, dude, like, if everyone is a threat from outside, you have to.
Then what do you do?
Yeah. See, that's all the more reason why you need, as you said, right? We need better perimeter defenders, right?
Yeah.
And again,
just one more. Just one.
At the very least. And that's why I encourage all our listeners and viewers, listen to the last episode. I think we gave some great suggestions, some guys that are attainable who could really fortify that spot. Because like I said, it all comes down.
People biting. It was people biting. Let's throw that out there. It was people biting.
I know. But here, dude, like, I think, though, what's most disappointing for me from this game is that, like, even though the Pacers, I think, are, like, what, top 3 in the league offensively?
Standard? Oh, okay.
No, like, offensively, just like their offensive rating.
Yeah.
Right? They're, like, one of the worst defenses. So, like, I kind of hope that, like, we would have scored on them. And we hit 100 points. Like, we barely hit 100 points.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I'm saying, right? Like, at least for me, my observation is
we probably need another offensive scoring punch too, as well.
Scoring
we
punch,
need,
but again,
we need a two-way, basically.
Yeah, shot creator, shot maker, right? Because like the number of threes that we took wasn't totally crazy, right? We took a total of 91 field goal attempts, and 36 of them were 3-pointers, right? And we made 9 of 36. So okay, fine. We didn't shoot it well.
NBA
You know,
2K.
no, but I mean, like that's typical. 36
Yeah.
threes on 91 total field goal attempts isn't horrible, but it's like I said, the quality of looks that we were getting were pretty poor.
Right.
Like too many of them were having like dribble, like out of traffic, pulling it out and shooting, right? Like there were not enough catch and shoots, not enough guys stepping in to threes. This is where,
Right.
like you said, right, we do need another scorer. We do need another playmaker.
It's probably because the Pacers are lengthy too. Like they're
Yeah.
very lengthy. Like they're long and they can get out and run us off of 3-pointers too. So
But I don't know, man. I was a little disappointed. Like
yeah,
we didn't
you
Thomas Bryant, we couldn't take advantage of their second unit. Like the lane is open. That's
Ivy.
See, even if we can't get everything that we want, this is why again, right? Well, what if we brought in another facilitator, right? Because you can make an argument like
Lonzo.
Asar and exactly like Lonzo, a good facilitator, a guy who knows how to pass, find the creases in a defense, right? Because you could say fine, you know what, Conrad, MJ, Asar and Ron, like they're not particularly great yet at creating off the dribble. Whether we agree with that or not, I'm like, but they're pretty good finishers, right? You're like, well, I don't know. Look at their shooting, their field goal percentage at the rim. I'm like, yeah, but like if they're being spoon fed at the rim, you don't think they're gonna finish that with like authority? That's what I'm saying, right? So if you have better passing, because unfortunately, like, and again, I'm not trying to like crap on them, but it's not part of Beasley or THJ's game, right? They're not going to be able to create those types of looks for their teammates, So again, right? I mean, like there are areas where we definitely could improve. I think, because I think there's realistic pathways to making these adjustments or these improvements.
Right. It's crazy that we schedule a pod when the Pistons lose, and we actually are going about what we need.
And I want to make it clear too,
what we can get or something like that. Like, because we've been winning so much, it's just like hell.
I
you know what I mean?
I forgot.
It's
right before we got on.
Perfect.
Right before we logged on, I did want to say, like, I mean, fans, we're all fans, So you're passionate fandom. It's just like when we win, especially if we're on a winning streak, it shouldn't necessarily like a win. Shouldn't necessarily be like the takeaway from a single win shouldn't be like we're perfect. We don't need to make any moves, right? Like I don't like you shouldn't just be dismissive of the idea that like, hey, wait, no, we could improve upon this. Likewise, any loss shouldn't be like we're screwed.
We got to get it. We got to get rid of.
We got to blow this up, right?
Yeah,
no, right. I mean, like, but no, I think both are true. Both are true. The chemistry is real. What we're building is special, right? But like let's also be realistic, right? Like if or when this team wins a championship, like I bet you I said I'm not trying to be too much.
You see my smile went like
I'm just saying, right? Like when you finally get there, like a lot of the guys on this roster this year aren't going to be on that team. You know what I'm saying? Right? You're always trying to interchange pieces.
Damn.
No, it's reality. It's a reality.
That's reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, and it's going to hurt.
How many fan favorites were there on the 03 Pistons that didn't make it on to be part of the 04 championship team? You see what I'm saying?
I can't think of them.
Well, I'd have to go to Basketball Reference to confirm because I don't want to say something wrong. I'm just saying.
Like 04 team? Yes, I know. You know what I mean? Because they're etched. And it's just like, I get what you're saying. So it's like, we have to, I mean, we got to sacrifice the game. That's just basketball. That's just life for real. So we have to do that. And, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to, like you said, I don't want to go back into trade talk, but we do need a two-way player. We need a two-way player that can score at least 12, 15, especially if he can like really score, you know what I mean? Be a threat to score all the time where you can't double us. And we need a defender. I'm thinking off top of my head, like Herb Jones type or uh Jimmy, of course Jimmy Butler. Like why not? I love Jimmy Butler. That's why I'm referencing him. But it's we that's all we need. Honestly, I feel like all we need is a two-way type, and we will be in another realm. Like we will be top four, easy. Like that's just truth. You know what I mean? I don't know what Trajan is looking at. I don't know what JB is looking at, like especially after a night like tonight, or just overall. But we do need to improve in that space
Yeah.
specifically because we have Asar, and then what do we have? You know what I mean? Like we got Cade improving on defense. He's great on defense. He's decent, but I mean, it's Tobias doing that. Is like I can't name anybody like Malik, THJ. They're not that where you can trust him as a defender and you can still do what you do and we still get results. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. And you in what you on?
Oh well, I was just gonna say no. Like I listened to everything you said, and I agree. I'm just trying to think like in if no moves were to be made,
Yeah.
and we're looking at this game because
Ugh.
the turnover bug resurfaced tonight after we just
Yeah.
praised them for minimizing turnovers in
Yeah.
you know this new calendar year. It came back in a big way tonight, right? 19 turnovers. Frankly, I thought it was more than that, to be honest. But
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It felt like
Uh,
it.
really interesting thing, right? Out of every player that came on the court, or the only player who didn't have a turnover in this game was Marcus Sasser. For
Hmm.
whatever that's worth, I'm just saying, like everybody actually recorded a turnover. That's actually pretty amazing, you know.
For whatever that's worth. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, like it just looking at it, what you said earlier. No, the Pacers are not a particularly good defense. They're not necessarily disciplined, but they do have length, and so
Yeah.
sometimes it could be really beneficial for them or it could hurt them,
Yeah.
right? Because they're
Or
probably just gonna try to gamble for steals. And
yeah.
today it totally worked. Cade got turned over 7 times.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that though, make no mistake, he got turned over, like Neesmith, Nemhard too, he's like he looks hella skinny, but he doesn't back down. I don't mean like his temper. I mean like physically, like
Yeah.
he doesn't get pushed around very easily.
Nah, I don't.
But
That's why they talk about him so much for real. Like I hear
yeah,
about him a lot.
as we were saying, right? Like the lack of other steady hands, like a steadying force, a facilitator. I have to keep
Yeah.
using these terms, right? Like it kind of
It's
showed
the
today because,
truth.
in my opinion, that's why Cade got turned over so much, right? Is because like, man, he's not being able to give up to somebody else who could, dribble out of traffic, right? He's trying to do all of it by himself because nobody else is probably capable, or like they're not even putting themselves in position, to be able to do that. So I mean, yeah,
So imagine we get Lonzo Ball and he comes on the
I
court.
mean
He's with
that's
K
what I'm
for a
saying, right?
second. K becomes catch and shoot. And then K goes off the floor. And then we have Lonzo Ball like orchestrating things. You know what I mean? Like getting the ball around to everybody who needs it the way
Cade at the
that they
three.
want it. I mean, for real, because he's I've been people don't know for everybody for the few of you that are watching. Cade has been catch and shoot. He's catch and shoot. He is like you can give him the ball in his pocket or where he needs it, and he's going to more like probably 7 or 8 times out of 10 he's gonna make that shot. And if we have Alonzo Ball and then he can come in, or not even just him, somebody that's like that, come in and then also facilitate for the second unit, then we'll be good. Like that's really what it is. It's like stabilizing the second unit. You know what I mean? Like making it
Yeah,
where like we already look at it like, oh well, this is what you're getting from so and so and so and so. But what is Lonzo Ball making it where it's like game in and game out? or whatever point guard we can get that can stabilize that second unit. If we can get a point guard that's kind of two way, and I'm, of course, I'm thinking about him, but if we can get someone like that and they stabilize that unit, and then also make it where we can transition. You know what I mean? Like Cade
Yeah.
comes out the game, we fall off a damn cliff. You know what I mean? And it's trash. But if we get somebody that can make it where we at least just stay steady, with the other team, then we'll be fine. And that's not hard, honestly. Like it's available for us, like the cap space,
Yeah.
the assets, and just what we have on our roster already. Like it's already built for us to incorporate somebody like that. So hopefully,
Yeah.
what you
I
think?
mean, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. And it's just like, looking at this one game, looking at the final stats, it makes it even more disappointing. I mean, we out rebounded them 55-40.
That's bad.
55 to, and
That's
we out right.
bad.
We had 14 offensive rebounds. And kudos,
That's
by the way. Again, I know
defense.
I'm hard on him.
Yeah.
Kudos to Jalen Duren, right?
Yeah.
A lot of second chance opportunities. He had
Yeah.
17 rebounds, 6 offensive, right?
Mhm.
And yet we only had 2 more field goal attempts the entire game because we turned it over
Too
19
much.
times, right?
Right.
More than double the
Right.
Pacers turnover total. So I mean, it's like, this is exactly what we're saying, right? Like that graph showed up in a big way. Like, yeah, I'm with you. Like we kind of got, I don't know, we didn't really get torched from the
No,
perimeter. We didn't get torched. Like they
we
didn't.
didn't get torched, but it was like key buckets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like the ones
Yeah.
we needed to defend in order to kind of sway the momentum and maybe sway the game.
But that's the
Like
thing.
they made them.
Our mid offense showed up again. That's what it came down to. Like really, like that's because I mean, if you really think about it, right?
Our
Like if
mid-offense.
THJ knocked down a lot of shots today. He did a good job. But like, a lot of our success is dependent on, THJ and Beasley both at the very least both being
Productive.
good.
Yes.
Like if one is great and the other's good, we're
We
probably gonna
win.
win. If
Yeah.
both are great, we probably win.
We
if
win.
one is great but one is freaking horrible,
We still have a chance to win.
we still have a chance, which we did.
But if they both suck,
Oh yeah, no, we have no shot. We have no shot. And hey,
It's a
it's
L.
fine. Right? There are shooters. There are shooters. What I'm saying though is like, in a way, this loss still did capture this team's identity, which again, all the more reason should show the front office. Okay, right? What is it that we can rely on? Because again, like I don't think, I mean, the Pacers have put up like 150 plus this year, right? I mean, 111 when we turned it over 19 times. That's not that
bad.
great of a performance for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, or yeah, it's not that bad of a defensive performance. Having to get back on defense all those times, getting back in transition because we've turned it over. I mean, that's hard on any defense, right?
Yeah.
But offensively, yeah, I mean, I think it should be clear to the front office what. And again, it's just no one's saying like, hey, make some irresponsible, short-sighted, short-term move. But like I said, right, there are moves on the margins that they can make, that again could have like a force multiplying effect. All those things we said, like think of the more catch and shoot opportunities for THJ and Beasley, Fontecchio to a lesser extent,
Right.
assuming he's still here. Think of
That
all
was-
the better like quality looks, like in the paint or at the rim
Mhm.
for not just our bigs, but like for our slashers, right? How many times do they actually have an opportunity to slash? Not too many, right? That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
So, I think
Especially
yes.
without Ivy. Like Ivy damn near creates slashing opportunities for himself. You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
we're missing that
I mean-
aspect in him being able to attract outside of Cade, you know what I mean? And then kick out from there. So it's games like this that, yeah, we're gonna think about Jaden Ivey. You know what I mean?
I mean, right? It's no longer a secret. Like Cade's a star, right?
yeah. Easy.
and he's probably entering superstar status, right? So
Hmm.
we're at game 41. Like, I think even if they're not like it's not like a playoff scouting report, but I think teams know we gotta defend Cade Cunningham. And as we
Yeah.
saw tonight, they freaking triple teamed him, right? He's getting like it's the right. It's like the Curry thing, right? You're getting the gravity. It's the Cade gravity. They're triple teaming
Hmm.
him. Okay, do they care? Do they care? Do they really believe THJ or Beasley or Duran are going to create something off the dribble? No, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying? And that's what I'm saying, right? If you could bring in one more guy, and ideally, yes, to a certain extent, that would have been Ivy, but
right.
we don't have it. So either we keep having to deal with this problem and just you know do the
Yeah.
best you can because
Unless
that's what they're going to
we
want to do.
unless we elevate somebody, like unless we say Beasley, here's the ball. You know what I mean? Like, but is he Ivy with
But
the
that's the thing, right? Like
balls?
let's say Cade attracts an early double team and he's able to dump the ball off to whoever.
Right.
I don't care who, just name another Pistons player. Like, is that player going to be able to do something with it? Are they able to make like the right pass, like on the short roll? Are they going to be able to pick and pop or whatever? You know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the way the Pacers defended us tonight, they believe the answer is no, which is
Right.
why.
Yes.
Which is why Cade can definitely pass out of a double team.
Yeah.
I know the 7 turnovers tonight would probably say no, he can't. No, he can.
He
He
can.
can. But if he
He can.
does, then see if he does, then the defense is won.
It's just
The defense
this,
wants to get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. That's the thing. See,
and it's this team like going to see the other teams as well without Ivy, without that other aspect. You know what I mean? So it's not that he has the relief anymore. It's more on him as well too. So here we go with the turnovers and like I don't know. We did the trade podcast for those are listening. Like we did the trade podcast, but that got me thinking about some other names other than Zach Levine, and it's just like we need somebody specifically that can do that. You know what I mean? Like that can still create. They can create their own slash. They can create a they can create a play. Excuse me, and I had to burp. And like they can still create for other players on the team and then still facilitate kick out. You know what I mean? Like they're still mindful of, oh, okay, he gonna be open. He over here. He right there. Like be mindful of what's going on the floor. You know what I mean? It's,
yeah.
as opposed to just, oh, let me go on and get mine. Like I don't know. Did we just start? Did we plug Holland? You know what I mean? Like did we just let Holland just go on ahead and elevate? You know what I mean? In the meantime, until because I don't want to just throw somebody out the door and talk trades, but in house, could Holland fill that role? You think like a little bit, at least a little bit? You know what I mean? At least 30% maybe. I'm thinking so. I'm thinking yeah, but
Not yet.
it's not necessarily going to result in what we want early on. But I think that
You could give
ultimately,
him you could give him that responsibility
yeah,
for developmental purposes,
right,
but it's going to be really ugly at times. Like I still truly believe. No, I think ultimately everything that you've described, I do believe he will be able to fulfill that role. But
right,
right now, if the answer was yes, JB would be ramping up his minutes, you know, night in, night out, but he hasn't yet because I think he understands it's a little too overwhelming to have him do all of that at once.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, like for the time being, no, I don't think they really have that option in house. You should come up with some new names. I want to hear them. But before we do, hold on.
Okay.
The rest of January is actually pretty rough. I don't know if you looked at
Oh,
this.
schedule. No, here we go. Here we go. We
Yeah,
about to call back to our old pod from the summer.
I know, dude. So January 18, uh, we host Phoenix. Okay. I mean, I know they're up and
Mhm.
down, but still, I
Yeah,
mean, it's
it's
Durant,
Kevin
man. You know,
Durant, right?
it's Durant. It's Durant. Let's give him a little respect there, right?
Yeah.
Then we're on the road, and this one's it's pretty tough, right? It's, at Houston, at Atlanta, at Orlando, at Cleveland, at Indiana. So I mean,
Damn.
There are no pushovers on that team. There's no Brooklyn. There's no Charlotte on there. You know what I'm saying? So,
If I had to
you
make a
know,
prediction,
and then we come back home January 31st. We host Dallas. So what I'm saying is,
sheesh.
this is not an easy schedule.
Yeah.
Do I believe they're going to go over? God, I hope not. Okay.
Please, God.
Because I want us to continue victory lapping here. But no, I mean, like, we'll really test, you know, like the abilities of this unit. You know, I think obviously given the nature of our conversation, we kind of already have an idea of how we feel about the limit of this team, right? But we'll see. We'll see. You know,
like, that's crazy. That on paper looks like 1-5.
I mean,
or it's gonna, I mean, like, we might be able to beat Phoenix with the up and down and to be 2-4, but and that's just me on a damper note. You know what I mean? Like, just looking at the loss today and whatnot. Like, but if we go on forward the way we've been going, we could break even. We could break even. We can go over that because it's 5 games, right? So we can go 3-2 at best for sure.
We'll see.
And stay above 500, please.
Yeah, no, I mean, I that's what I would love to see, you know. Yes. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because as we already seen now, right? I mean, even not huge names, but you know, like Phoenix acquiring Nick Richards, right? I mean, teams are trying, to make moves.
This is not an NBA podcast. This Pistons, because I got something to say about that.
Oh, okay. We'll save that one then, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, we saw some of the worst tendencies tonight of this Pistons team. But I think we're beginning to find the answers as to why those things happen when it does. And the fact that they're identifiable, that means you can come up with solutions.
So, exactly.
Let's see what Trajan Landon's got cooked up. Before we go, you said since the last trade deadline pod, which you should all listen to, you came up with a couple new names. Just want to hear them real quick. Let's kind of go over
one.
I'll tell you if you're crazy.
Yeah, please do. I'm gonna go super left field because it's not gonna happen, and because I just love him. Russell Westbrook.
No.
At
this point, like, he's an instrumental piece
in
Denver.
He is.
And given that they are, I think they're an apron team. I mean, like, basically they don't really have the flexibility to move out contracts, especially a contract like him. He's basically on the veteran minimum, I believe, or close to it. So I think at this point, like, you know, when they start out, like, whatever they were, like 1-4, maybe.
Everybody was burying them.
Yeah, when everyone's like, dude, this guy's washed. But right now, I mean, like, you know, especially with the, you know, with Aaron Gordon in and out of the lineup, with Jamal Murray in and out of the lineup. Like, ironically, the old man is the guy who's playing every game. So, I mean, so probably not. Probably not.
Let me flip it, Dan.
But I will give you your flowers. You were very adamant that the Pistons should have targeted him in free agency last summer. So you weren't crazy about that.
Bench, especially if you're like, yeah, I'll come off the bench. Like, what? Russell Westbrook? Him?
Yeah, you said it that way during the summer, actually.
Yeah, did I? Like, okay, so I've been hearing the Bruce Brown name, and it's just like, he's been a Piston. I'm just throwing him out there.
Yeah.
It's just like, after today's game, after saying what we really need, could we use a Bruce Brown? Could we? Maybe, because I'm not really sold on it. It's like his time has, I don't know if he's come and gone. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you fit in certain situations better than other ones. You know what I mean? So he fit in Denver. He didn't fit in Toronto, or where the hell did they trade him? Wasn't it Toronto? Indiana, exactly. So
Indiana first, then Toronto.
So it's just like, if you didn't fit in those two places, if you came to Detroit, would he fit? If we maybe gave him the front as opposed to Sasser, and let Sasser be even more of a, you come in and give us a scoring punch real quick, and maybe with Bruce. And maybe Bruce has some defensive acumen and some scrappiness still to him. You know what I mean? Like with this unit, because it's like players play different with different players. So could he come in and like be a plug and play and help us, kind of merge the two lineups and make it where it's not Cade or this is where you at without Cade on the floor. You know what I mean? Like we can't have that. We can't have it.
So Bruce Brown is basically, he's making just a smidge more than Lonzo this year, and they're both expiring contracts. So basically both of them are very attainable. I think Lonzo is about 20 million even. I think Bruce is like 22. Yeah. I was looking at Fanspo earlier today. So, I mean, I've been looking at Fanspo a lot, I got to admit.
Yeah, you have.
You
send a trade ideas.
Well, yeah, but also for like, some other activities with some other basketball related, activities leading up to the deadline. Right. But with Bruce Brown, okay, to be fair to him, in my opinion, it was working in Indiana, right? Like after he won the championship in Denver, he signed the big contract to go to Indiana. It was going well, and then he got hurt.
Right.
And in that time when he got hurt, that is when the Pacers turned to Andrew Nembhard.
Yeah.
And he just broke out, blossomed immediately as a rookie, to the point where they felt it made him expendable. Right. And so he was part of the Siakam trade, you know? So I don't really believe he didn't fit in Indiana. He unfortunately got hurt. And then by the time he got back, okay, they were, Pacers last season, they had some nice momentum. They wanted to amplify that momentum by getting Siakam. So that's what happened. Toronto, I mean, they're just a rebuilding team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't really know. I can't say that he doesn't fit there either. My biggest concern is his health. Now, I know he's played a couple games this season because they're trying to showcase him, but he hasn't been particularly impressive. Ironically, Lonzo looks better. He's had more flashes than Bruce Brown. Lonzo's had more flashes of his old self than Bruce Brown has had of his old self. I'm not saying Bruce can't get there, but given that we're trading, you'd be trading for another expiring contract. Also on top of that, now again, because if I'm getting Bruce, I want that guy. If I'm going to say, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, I want his championship experience. Right. Which is huge, obviously he's already familiar with Detroit. I mean, obviously it's a different,
and we love him.
Front office.
We still love him.
Exactly. Right.
Rooting, we were rooting for him.
He understands the culture, or at least the community.
Yeah.
And we need him to be that guy, that everything you said at the top of the episode. We need a defensive anchor on the perimeter.
Yes.
Now the question though is, are you still that guy?
Exactly.
Because Lonzo's not, but Lonzo is also still a good playmaker.
Yeah.
I don't really believe Bruce is, even at his best. He could dribble the ball, but he's not creating for others. That's what I'm saying, right? I feel crazily enough, if you're just telling me to choose between those two, I'd probably choose Lonzo. But I like the idea. I like the idea. I think teams that are trading, I'm almost positive he'll get traded at the deadline, Bruce Brown. But whoever trades, because he's an expiring contract.
Yeah.
At this point, Toronto will take another expiring and a second round pick.
Cash consideration,
right? Yeah. But my point is whoever trades for him, they're hoping Bruce can get back to that old form.
Milwaukee.
And I'm not so sure. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. He hasn't really shown any indication.
Yeah.
I feel like he's still hurt. I don't, know.
Milwaukee.
Right. Nice.
Do it.
All right. Anybody else? But that's easy.
he just slipped my
You're
mind.
you're the one that's great at Photoshop, not me. But I'll just find like
I'm not great. I'm getting better. I'm getting
I'll
there.
find an old photo of him in a Detroit jersey, and I'll tell you that I photoshopped it. So I mean,
Yeah. I'm getting there. Like the more I work, the better I get at it. So, but who was the last name I had in mind? Damn, it didn't slip my mind. It slipped my mind. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it another time.
no worries.
Oh, no.
Okay.
He's not two way. He's not two way. I've been hearing rumblings about Colin Sexton, and what do we have to give up to get him? What would he bring to the Pistons anyway, especially at his size? You know what I mean? Like, would he be I mean, we got Marcus Sasser at Marcus's size, so we have Colin Sexton with the ability to score 20 a game. Could we acquire Marcus Sexton? I mean, Marcus. No, I'm mixing their names up. Could we could we acquire Colin Sexton and actually would he come off the bench, or you know what I mean? Like what would that look like to you? Because you the scout, you're the basketball savant. So I want to hear from you.
Again, Colin Sexton is an expiring contract. I believe he's making around like 22 million.
Yeah.
So same thing. He's
We got
very
it.
attainable. He's very
We got it.
attainable. I know it's Danny Ainge that you're dealing with, but I feel like, again, Colin Sexton's an expiring contract. I feel like there is. I feel like you could actually negotiate in good faith here, Danny. Okay,
Yeah. I hear Detroit here. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah. I have to say though, like looking at him, because I started looking at more film of him as a potential trade candidate to the Warriors, just playing around. Like he lacks defensive versatility.
Yes.
So I mean, like if he gets switched out onto like a tall wing, yes, he'll need help. He'll need help. But he's a very good backcourt defender.
Yeah.
Like a very, very good. And like sometimes I feel like scrappy just means like you try a lot. No, he's actually really good. He's pretty disciplined. Gets his hands in the passing lane, knows how to get guys to pick up their, or to terminate their dribble. Right. And I'm leading with the defense because I think people only see him as like some kind of offensive, dynamo, like a bucket, which he is. But I mean, like,
hell, I do.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it works. He works on certain teams. To a certain extent, he worked in Cleveland, right? Like, if you have, like, when he was there in Cleveland, right? I mean, wasn't he there with like? He still played, didn't he? He still played. Yeah, he still played with Jarrett Allen and Mobley.
Yeah.
Right. So you have like the two bigs
because they had two. They had two good guards, two good bigs. You know what I mean?
Right. You had Karis LeVert. At the time, right, and Okoro. So what I'm saying is, like, when you actually have like good backline and second line defenders, right? Yeah, right. If all he has to do, well, not all he has to do, but if he's just staying in front of his man, right, his point guard counterpart, yes, I think Colin Sexton actually works. Now the only thing is with Sexton, is expiring contract. Like, I guess I don't know. I don't know if it's like a long term. Like if there's potential for a long term relationship. Let's put it that way. Like he's a great temporary like substitute while Ivy's out. But when Ivy comes back, like I don't think there's a role for him. So I mean, I get, hey, right? You want to, again, a veteran guy knows what he's doing, helps for your playoff push. Sure, I'm personally not against it, but cool.
Okay. And you mentioned his name before we go. I've been liking him like defensively for a minute. You said Isaac Okoro. What you think about him potentially being a Piston? Just in theory. No.
I'm shaking my head because no. I'm shaking my head because you were beating the drum for Isaac Okoro all summer, and nobody touched him. Nobody, because he was restricted
They
free
didn't.
agent. And the way
Yeah.
this new CBA works, like restricted free agents are basically like in purgatory,
Right.
until the team says we're gonna, rescind your qualifying offer, or they finally extended him, which they
Right.
did only because nobody else put in a qualifying offer or an offer sheet. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure they really wanted to bring Zakakoro
To
back. Like
keep
I
him.
felt like
I
they
don't think they
did
did.
because, yeah, I think they were so ready to sign and trade him away, but nobody could. Again, right? What we were talking about last episode. Everybody is so capped out or hard capped because of the apron.
Yeah.
They couldn't acquire him, and now he's having a career year shooting. Dude, no, like the guy is on fire, man. Like
Yeah.
I was having a
Like
discussion.
I love Isaac Okoro, bro. Like I've been loving him before he could even shoot. Like that was the complaint. Oh, he can't make threes, and then he started making threes like last season, and then it's like this, like you were just mentioning, like this offseason, it's like nobody's going after him, nobody's trying to get him. Cleveland's not signing him fast enough. Like who's going to acquire Isaac Okoro? And I thought he was
42.9% from three, man. Like, dude, right? And then what is it? 45 on catch and shoots, which I mean, you don't want him dribbling the ball anyway. We liked him just because of his defense. And now you're telling me
yeah.
that the three
That's
pointer
it.
is like consistent, like it's coming around. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know if they would. No, man. But I would definitely. I was with you.
Yeah.
Well, no, to be fair, yes. My potential counter was, would he take minutes away from Asar? But at this point, like, I don't think he would.
Hmm. That would, bro. That if he could come, like, what he wouldn't. How wouldn't he? Like, how wouldn't he? How
Well, no,
wouldn't he?
because remember, during the summer, we're like, well,
We could run
he's been
him
a starter
at the two,
before.
maybe. Yeah.
Like he's been a starter. Does he want to be a starter? But now he's just coming off the bench for Cleveland. He's having the time of his life. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Now, okay, maybe it's one thing to like come off for a team that has like the best record in the East, and they're on pace for 70 wins. It's one thing to come off
Damn.
the bench for them than to come off the bench for like the Pistons that are like in the 7th or 8th seed. But still, all I'm saying is like, dude, like in general, I don't know how available he is, but yeah, he would be a great addition to this team.
Yeah.
You can make it
That
work, dude.
that's my last one because I've always wanted Isaac Okoro. Like I love the players that have defensive acumen to them and have some dog in them. Like I can see him coming here and having some dog in him. You know what I mean? Like in being like Holland or Isaiah Stewart or you know what I mean? Like we're starting to see they just did the whole cameras behind the scenes with the Pistons and all that, and they just out here partying in Jersey, like Detroit. Like I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Like it's you representing us extra hard, and if he wanted to be here as well, then especially with JB being here, you know what I mean? Like he's already had time with him, so maybe that would make him feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, oh, JB, oh, I'm going to Detroit. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I would love that move. I really would. Like, even if he's with the second unit, like we can start him or Asar, leave Malik or THJ with one of them on the second unit, but then we still need a point guard. It would be nice to get Lonzo for 2 picks. Like here, okay, come
Yeah.
on. You know what I mean? But in the real world, like Isaac would be great with this team.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
think so.
That one, again, even though he's not the biggest name, like I feel like that one is like the biggest stretch, just given like one, like how much they love him in
Yeah,
Cleveland,
yeah,
and two, like relatively speaking, like having such a breakout year almost, like,
yeah.
so I don't know.
I didn't know his three was at that. Like, oh wait.
Oh no, I was discussing it with a friend the other day, and it's like, dude,
Yeah,
because like he has like one of the best catch and shoot percentages in the entire NBA, which is freaking crazy. I mean,
yeah.
like,
That's a good thing.
it could just be a hot year. I don't know, but he shot 39 from three last year, so I mean, like,
Yeah,
there are indications that he's been improving.
yeah.
But I like
Fred
the Sexton
Vinson.
one. I didn't really think of Sexton for this team, but again, like, it's a really fun,
Yeah,
like, short term But I'm not sure. Like I said, I
Why?
for
Because Ivy.
me, yeah. And if you're moving on from Ivy, Sexton's not the type of guy I want on this team long term to be starting next to Cade. Like I want more size. You know what I'm saying? Like I want
Ivy.
a little bit more. Yeah. Well, yeah. So we'll see. All right, man.
Okay, that was fun, and we ended up turning it into a mini kind of trade. We added on. So if we see y'all talking about these people, but with that being said, y'all see the names at the bottom. MJ, opinionated, Pistons lead. Make sure y'all follow Con, CP3_777. But make sure y'all follow us ultimately at EMW_pod on Twitter. Make sure y'all subscribe, like this, and share it. Yeah, and if you're a b-ball head, be ready for more. Like we gonna get into some more stuff, and it's not just Pistons. We gonna expand. We getting there. Yeah. So
That's what's up.
yes.
Take care.
All right. Y'all take care.